Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kauthar. If this is your very first time here, thank you for joining in for today's video. And in this video I'm going to be showing you how to work this very nice lacy stitch pattern. You can use this stitch to make dresses, blouses, skirts and anything, any crochet garments. It's just a very nice lacy stitch, and I'm going to be showing you how you can work it using this crochet diagram that I have here with me. If you would like to have this image on your phone, maybe download it or just save it on your phone, there is a link in the description box below, so make sure you check it out. If you'd also prefer to work with a written pattern, I've left the link to the written pattern for this stitch. I've left it in the description box, so make sure you check the description box, and make sure you always check the description box even when I forget to say it, because I always leave helpful links there for you. So to get started with this particular crochet diagram, like I always say, the very first thing you want to do is write out all the symbols you can see in the pattern and what they stand for. So of course the very first symbol we can see is the small circles all over, and those represent chain, and I'm just going to write that here, chain. Then the very next icon you can see is this long vertical line with like 2 horizontal bars across it. These ones you can see all over. Those ones represent a double crochet. And I think the very last icon in this crochet diagram is this small plus signs that you can see here, and those ones represent the single crochet. Now that you're done writing out everything, all the icons in this diagram and what they mean, the very next thing is to start working the swatch. Now we want to know how many chains we're going to be starting with, and to do that we're just going to count the number of circles here, because each circle represents one chain. So we're going to count now. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. There are 36 chains in this pattern, in the diagram, and I'm going to do 36 chains and then come back to meet you guys. For this stitch, I'm just going to be working with this yay yarn in this green color. So I'm going to do my 36 chains and then show you guys when I'm done. So I've just finished working my 36 chains, and now I'm going to go back to the diagram to see what next. I finished working 36 chains. Remember, I counted all the chains including this one. So the next thing to do is a double crochet, right? We want to know what position to put this double crochet. So this double crochet is in a chain, and it is in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is in the 5th chain. This is the very last chain I did. This is my 36th chain. Now this double crochet is in the 5th chain from the hook. Like, this is the 36th chain I did, the very last one. Now this double crochet is in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 5th chain I do 1 double crochet, and I go into the next chain, 1 double crochet. So I'm going to be doing 4 double crochets in the next 4 chains, starting from the 5th chain from the hook. And let me just show you that now. So I'm doing the first double crochet in the 5th chain from the hook. This is the first chain from the hook, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, right? And I'm just turning my work. I put 1 double crochet here. If you don't know how to do double crochet stitches, I'm going to leave a link in the description box below to my double crochet tutorial. It's really beginner friendly and easy. So we're doing 4 double crochets. Remember, this is 1, this is 2, 3, and then 4. Now that we're done with the 4 double crochets, I go back to the diagram. I see chain 2, like there are 2 circles here, meaning to chain 2. Then when you do this chain 2, you skip 2 chains, right? So you chain 2, skip 2 chains. Let me just do that. Chain 1, chain 2. I already chain 2. So you can see now the next thing is to do double crochets again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 double crochets in each of the next 5 chains. So this is quite repetitive from here. You do 5 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2 chains, 5 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2 chains, 5 double crochets, chain 2, skip 2 chains. and you're going to do that until you get to the end, which is what I'm going to do now. I've done the chain 2, I skip 2, and I do 5 double crochets in the next one. From the next one, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 2 again, skip 2, then 5 double crochets. So I have just finished the very first row. So I finished this row of 5 double crochets, chain 2, 5 double crochets, chain 2, and I'm going to move to the next row now. To start the next row, you can see the first thing to do is chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then turn the work. I'm now going to do 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you notice each double crochet is in the previous is on top of the previous double crochet in the previous row, from the previous row. So we're going to be doing a double crochet in the double crochet from the previous row, 1 double crochet in the double crochet from the previous row, and we do that 4 times. So this is 1, 2, 3, and then 4. We're done with that. So we come back to the diagram. We can see chain 2 again, chain 2. So this row is the same thing with the previous row. Chain 2, 5 double crochets, chain 2, 5 double crochets, chain 2, 5 double crochets. Like you put chain 2 on top of the chain 2 from the previous row, 5 double crochets and the double crochets from the previous row up until the end of the row. So chain 2 with the 5 double crochets here. 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 2, and then we're on to the last set. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the last one, we do it on top of those chains. That represents the last double crochet. That's the end of the second row. We're done here with the second row. This is row 1, row 2. Now to go on to the fourth row, to the third row, sorry, you chain 1, 2, 3, 4. Chain 4, which I'm going to do right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you do a single crochet, and this single crochet, see with chain 4, we're skipping 1 double crochet, and then in the next double crochet you do a single crochet. So we're skipping this double crochet, right? Then in the next one you put a single crochet. I'm going to leave a link to my single crochet tutorial in the description box in case you're not familiar with single crochet stitches. So I've just done the single crochet. Now the next thing to do is see double crochets, this set of double crochets. And how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to be doing 7 double crochets in the chain 2 space. Let me just do that now. 7 double crochets. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I've just finished the 7 double crochets, and then the next thing to do is a single crochet. So you notice that you skip 2 double crochets, and you put a single crochet in the third double crochet from the previous row. So you're skipping 1, 2, and then here you put a single crochet. So you skip the next 2 double crochets, and in the chain 2 space you put another 7 double crochets. So for this row you're basically going to be doing 7 crochets in the chain 2 space, then single crochet in the third double crochet from the previous row, 7 crochets in the chain 2 space, single crochet in the third double crochet from the previous row. Like this is first double crochet, second, and in the third you put a single crochet. So I'm just going to do that and meet you when I'm almost at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, single crochet. Now I'm almost done, but I don't know how I'm going to finish this, so I go back to the diagram to check. I'm at this point now, right? See this point, this single crochet here, this is where I am. So I'm going to do a chain 1, right, and put a double crochet in the top of the chain 3 from the previous round. So chain 1, skip a double crochet, and then in the top of the chain 3 I put another double crochet. Chain 1, skip this double crochet, and then in the top of the chain 3 put a double crochet, and I'm done with that row. It's looking lovely already. I'm going to the next row now. I just finished this row. So for the next row, we start with chains. See, we have 6 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you chain 6. Let me just do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn the work. Then you do double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You do 5 double crochets. See, we've already chained 6. Then we skip the single crochet, we skip the first double crochet, right? Then in the next 5 double crochets, we put 1 double crochet in each of them. See, this double crochet is on top of this one, this is on top of this one, this is on top of this one. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We skip the single crochet, we skip the first double crochet, and then in the next one, we do 1 double crochet. We're doing this 5 times. 3, 4, 5. Right, we're done with that. So chain 2, skip 2 double crochets, and then do 5 double crochets in the next 5, right? Chain 2, skip this double crochet, and then this double crochet, and then in the next 5 you do 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 2, skip 2 double crochets and do 5 double crochets in the next 5. Now that I'm almost at the end, I'm going to go back to the diagram to see what I'm supposed to do. So I just finished this last set of 5 double crochets. So I say a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, chain 3, and do a double crochet in the third chain from the previous round, right? See, 1, 2, 3, this is the third chain from the previous round. So chain 3, double crochet in the third chain from the previous round. So chain 1, 2, 3, and then in the third chain from the previous round, this is chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, and here in the chain 3 I put a double crochet, and that is the end of this row, right? Going on to the next row now, I can see chain. I'm starting with chains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I chain 5 double crochets in the double crochets from the previous round, then chain 2, double crochet in the double crochet from the previous round. So I'm basically repeating the same thing I did in this row, and the chain 5 represents a double crochet chain 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 5, then put double crochets in the double crochets from the previous row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you can see I've put double crochets in double crochets from the previous row. I'm then going to chain 2, then move on to the next set of double crochets and do the double crochets there. Okay guys, so I've just finished this row and I'm going to move on to the next row now. This is the row I've just finished, and to start the next row I'm going to do chain 3. Let me just do that. 1, 2, 3, and then turn the work. Now in this chain 2 space, I do a cluster of double crochets, which is 1 2 3 4 5. So I do 5 double crochets in this chain 2 space. 1 2 3 4 5. Just finished that. And then I do a single crochet. See, I skip 2 double crochets, skip this 2, and then I put a single crochet in the third double crochet from the previous row. I'm skipping these 2 double crochets, and in this third one I put a single crochet there, right? So for this row, the next thing to do is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 7 double crochets in the chain 2 space, single crochet in the third double crochet from the previous row, 7 double crochets in the chain 2 space, single crochet in the third double crochet from the previous row. So this is what I'm going to be doing up until the end of this row. In this chain 2 space, I do 7 double crochets. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Then I skip 2 double crochets. In the third one I put a single crochet. Now that I'm almost at the end, I'm just going back to the diagram to see what next I'm supposed to do. I've stopped here. This is where I am presently. So I skip 2 double crochets again, and then in the last chain 2 space, see, I do 1 2 3 4 5. I put 5 double crochets in the last chain 2 space. Let me do that even though it's not all yet. 1 2 3 4 5. Now let me see how I'm finishing this row. So to finish, I put 1 double crochet in the third chain from the previous row. Now in the previous row we started with 5 chains, 1 2 3 4 5, but you're putting the double crochet in the third chain, not the 5th or anywhere else, but in the third. So just count from the beginning. This is chain 1, chain 2, and then in this third chain you put your last double crochet, and that is the end of this row. Now before I go on to the last 2 rows, guys, I want to call your attention to something. If you're ever working with this stitch, with this pattern, right, it's advisable that you finish on this cluster row, because you can see that it gives your work this very nice edging, right, instead of finishing on any of these rows. Like you notice that on this diagram that I have here, we're going to be finishing on a double crochet row. You're going to see that it is very different from finishing on this row, because this row has this edging as a result of the clusters of double crochet. So I would advise that you finish your work on this row when working with this stitch. But let me just finish the last 2 rows. And to go to the next row now, you do chain 3, then 4 double crochets in the next 4 double crochets. 1 2 3, then 4 double crochets in the next 4. 1 2 3, and then 4. So chain 2, do 5 double crochets in the next. Now when you chain 2, you see you have to skip this first double crochet, then you do your 5 double crochets, and then you skip the last double crochet, chain 2, skip a double crochet, do 5, skip 1, and that's what you're going to be doing up until the end of this row. I'm just going to do that and meet you back up. Okay, so I've just finished this row, and I hope you guys are going to remember what the previous row looks like. That's the row of clusters that I was advising you to end on. You can see that this is just a normal plain row, like there's nothing too fancy about this edge. But if you had finished on the previous row, it would have been a fancier edge for your work. Now let me just go to the last row and then give you my final thoughts on this crochet stitch. To go to the last row, I do chain 3, double crochet in the double crochets from the previous row, chain 2. This is pretty much the same thing with what I've been doing, so let me just do that. Chain 3, double crochets in the double crochets from the previous row, chain 2, double crochets in double crochets, chain 2, and like that. So I put double crochet in each of the double crochets from the previous row. Now that I'm done, I chain 2, double crochet in each of the double crochets from the previous row. Okay guys, so I have just finished the last row on this based on the crochet diagram that I'm following, right? I've just finished everything, right? Now here are some things you want to note when you're working with crochet diagrams. This crochet diagram is just a small sample. Like, your work is definitely going to be bigger than this, because I don't know what you want to use this for. So if you're making a top, for example, of course it's going to be bigger than this, but then when you get here, you're wondering that, oh, so what's the next thing I'm supposed to do? But from here, the pattern repeats. So you notice that this last 2 rows is the same thing as this first 2 rows, right? So once you finish this last 2 rows, you come back and continue from this row, because this last 2 rows and this row is the same thing. So this is basically the pattern. This first 3 rows, that's what you're going to be repeating all the way. You see, this first 3 rows, the same thing as this, the same thing as 1, 2, then the next one is going to be this cluster row. So once you get the hang of row 1, row 2, row 3, right, you can even do row 4, 5, 6, and then you continue from there. The pattern basically repeats. So once you finish these 2 rows, you do this cluster row, then you do these 2 rows again, and then you do the cluster row. That's just how to know how to continue. The pattern, your crochet diagram is never going to give you a picture of the full thing, because it cannot even, like, let's assume you want to do, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 rows here. Let's assume your project has 100 rows. How is it going to even fit on a paper, right? So it's just a small sample it will give you that will guide you till you finish your work. And then to know the multiples to do, like, just count the number of chains you're starting with and then divide. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See, this is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's count everything all together. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, right? So this is 33, and you're working like in multiples of 7. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you need to do multiples of 7, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So when you do multiples of 7, this is 7. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. 7 in 4 places, that's 28. And then you add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I said this stitch is worked in multiples of 7 plus 5. Multiples of 7 plus 5. So if you need it to be more, you just do multiples of 7, maybe 70 plus 5, or whatever multiples you need. Like, no matter how, depending on how long you want your piece to be, you're just going to keep measuring your chain, but make sure it is in a multiple of 7 plus 5. So this one is 28 plus this 5, that's how you have 33. And remember, we counted 33 stitches. These 33 chains, these 3 chains here represents the very first double crochet. That's why I didn't count it. It's not necessarily part of our foundation chain, because this is part of the first row. As you can see, that's come up to the first row. The ones down here are the foundation chains. So this stitch is done in multiples of 7 plus 5, right? Don't forget that you can click on the link in the description box to download this diagram, and you can also see a written pattern. There's a link to a written pattern in the description box. Just check. I'm sure it's going to be very helpful. But if you have any questions, you can leave them down below in the comment section. Do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So guys, I'm also going to be uploading a tutorial later on how I make a top with this stitch pattern. I think you should stay tuned for that, because it's going to be very helpful, and then you can see how to apply all this information I share on how to work with crochet diagrams. So I'll use this stitch to work a top, and it's going to be really nice. So again, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you are always notified whenever I post a new video. If you want to shop my supplies, you can message me on Instagram, and I'm going to help you out with that. But if there's anything, just leave me comments and I'm going to reply everything. And again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video, guys. Thanks for watching.